Okay.
Hi, I'm Mark Walker. I'm the editorial director at the FinTech Times, and I'm here at Seamless TV. I'm going to ask my interviewee to introduce himself to you, the audience.
So I'm Joseph Ridley, General Manager of Terrapinn, and I organise Seamless across Europe, Middle East and Africa.
Fantastic, Joseph. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure taking a very small bit of time out of your hectic schedule. So
It's been a busy morning.
I can imagine that. I mean, wow, what an amazing event is the first thing to say. The quality of people, the people that I've already spoken to, the panels that I had the privilege to speaking to, you really know how to assemble a very interesting group of people. How have you found it?
This year's just been amazing. So last year was the first proper event we ran after COVID, and we saw the market really rebound back. There's a lot of interest in both e-commerce but digital commerce as well as fintech within the region. And coming into the event yesterday morning, we had 34,000 people pre-registered to attend, and 650 sponsors and exhibitors that are participating in the show this year. So last year we were around 450, so we've got an extra 200 brands that are on the floor here today. And there's just a lot of interest in Dubai, the UAE and the wider GCC region when it comes to new ways of disrupting the financial services industry.
Yeah.
So it's a good time.
Have you seen a larger delegation of international people coming in?
Yes, yeah, we have. So if we go back 5-6 years ago into the show, you would get Asian companies coming here, occasionally the odd European country, and every now and again, one or two American countries coming here. Now what we're seeing is a big influx from broader European countries, as far as Scandinavia, sort of mainland Europe, that recognize there's an opportunity here. The banks are starting to move a lot quicker now in terms of the digital transformation. So these companies, it used to be if they got an inquiry, a European company got an inquiry, then they may come and have a visit and try and tighten the customs in. Now they're actively hunting for business over here because the regulators are starting to shape policy, in my opinion at least. It's going to encourage things like open banking, and just the market's just a lot more open to working with like new and innovative fintechs to try and bridge some of those gaps that exist for consumers and citizens across the Arab world.
Yeah. And has that affected or has enabled your content to sort of change and morph a little bit over the years? Are you more, I'm kind of noticing a few more international type of speakers, a few more Americans, that type of thing?
We are. There's definitely more of an international flavour, and it's being driven by the audience. They want to hear more international content, more topics. It used to be that obviously you'd have the same sort of local guys in the area that would get up every year and speak and talk about what they knew and anything else. Now people have like a much bigger thirst for interesting global content that's going to come in that they can then relate to, and what they can learn from that to implement into their businesses.
Okay. One of the things that a number of people have sort of said to me that have come over from the European market, for example, is they're really intrigued by the fact that there's e-commerce, retail and fintech all in one event.
Yeah.
In Europe, there's very much an idea of segregating the two, which seems a bit wrong, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is that always been a conscious effort of yourself, and it's something you're going to carry on with?
Well, it has. So look, we started off 20 odd years ago with a brand called Cards and Payments Middle East. Now obviously that ecosystem, there's quite a finite amount of people in that ecosystem, and what we've seen over the last 10-15 years is as those services and the offerings and all the change that's happened in the industry has come together, we've had to evolve the brand as well. And it got to a point where if we were just organising a pure play banking and fintech event, the market wouldn't be that big. When you have some of the other, the new, like some of the PSPs and things, like people like your checkouts, tellers, Stripes, these guys that are coming in here, yes, they're part of the payments and fintech ecosystem, but ultimately what they're looking to do is to meet with merchants. So adding in that retail technology in the e-commerce part of the event has basically helped satisfy the types of people that they're looking to meet with, but at the same time keep the banking and financial services industry relevant and interested in the show as well.
Okay.
So it came out of necessity, basically.
Okay, interesting, maybe unfair question is, will it get to a point where it's too big and you have to separate the two out?
Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, In the layout we have this year, it's one long hall. Obviously, the trade centre's got hundreds of thousands of square meters. I can definitely see a point where, and next year's an example is, where we will have more dedicated areas to the different profiles to create the separation from that way. Whether we split it completely, who knows?
Who knows? The future will say. So obviously you're still right in the middle of the Dubai event at the moment,
yes.
But I'm guessing you already have an eye onto the next event. Tell us a little bit about where's next for
So
Seamless.
next in the series is Seamless North Africa, which is taking place in Egypt this coming July. We've just announced today that we're partnering once again with the Central Bank of Egypt. So that event is purely focused on banking, payments and fintech. And it's about positioning Egypt as basically the gateway to Middle East and Africa for international fintechs that are looking to grow in the region.
Yeah, and I think obviously there's a whole series of events, including there's going to be a new area added to the event, which is the European show.
That's right, yes.
Which is for the first time. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in October this year, we're going to Berlin, so Seamless Europe. I mean, we obviously had a look in the market. We know it's a very competitive landscape, but we saw an opportunity in Germany to take this model event to Europe. So that's going to be running in October.
Okay, and that'll be a mix of retail and fintech.
Same idea. So
yeah.
half of the halls are going to be focused on banking, payments, and fintech, and then the other half are going to be around retail and e-commerce. So again, to bring in the blend of the merchants and the SMEs for their offering, along with the banking and financial services industry.
Yeah. Well, we are going to look forward to helping you and supporting you there as well in the Fintech Times.
Should be fun.
Awesome. Thank you very much for taking your time out of your very busy schedule, Joseph, and joining us at Seamless TV, powered by the Fintech Times.
Thank you very much.